So finally, have Muhammad Umar with us. Muhammad Umar became certified PMP. It's been like a week, but it was a interesting thing. He's a very busy professional, so busy that he was not able to even record this journey. But every good thing must. I'm a big believer of media and how that adds value to the every single person. So we have Umar who will be sharing our journey with us. So Umar, please, you know that how it goes, everything. First of all, thank you very much for giving your time. Now is the time to share your journey, whatever you have done throughout the project. So please go
Yeah,
ahead.
so thank you very much. Thank you for having me again. Yeah, it was a little bit, I would say, tough on my side to have this session, and I really wanted to, give back to the PMP aspirant community as well. So to start with, I mean, definitely, thanks to you for driving me throughout this journey to get this PMP certification. I mean, for long, I would say for a couple of years, I wanted to get it done, but for one or the other reason, I couldn't do that. And then, one day I just found out that you are mentoring and coaching and providing classes for the PMP. So I decided, okay, let me go with you, and that was one of the best decision I took, because as I mentioned just after my exam as well, that sometime to achieve the achievable becomes really really difficult, because I mean, for everyone who is doing PMP, I mean, everybody is constrained with time, with with a lot of commitments, whether professional or personal. So anyways, once again, it says a big thanks to you. That's how I will start my journey, and then the video or this session as well. So first of all, as well, that your classes, the session which I took with you was very helpful. Although I'm like in the project controls, or the planning or the project management fields, is like about 9-10 years so far. So and I have been to I would say, I mean, not a very, I would say, an expert. Maybe I'm not an expert, but I have a very good experience in the project management. But still, having a session, the classes with you, that was very helpful, because I still remember your words that we should go with the Pareto distribution, that do that 20% of the things which have 80% of the impact, and that really really which I felt is one of the success of your program, of your coaching, I would say. And that really helped me as well to prepare well. And and then on the other hand, your material is very very solid, to the point, and that is exactly what you need in order to get your PMP.
In real practice.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, it's really, I would say, it's really the one you need in order to get your PMP. Because I was reading PMP book back in 2020, Rita Mulcahy book, and so on and so forth, when I decided to go for the PMP. And obviously, at this age or stage, reading all the literature feels dry to you, for anyone. So I was really looking for something which is to the point, which is covering the most and the basic and everything for the exam you need, anyone need to prepare. And that is what I found from your material. And then I did not do anything other than what you provided, not even a single word, or I would even say.
I want to put emphasis here. And guys, everyone who is watching this interview, or they can ask the question to Umar. They can ask the question to me. So Umar, you haven't read any book in our training program. From if you have read all my material,
Yep,
right?
that's very right. So only your material, only your slides. Even I would say I'm not a good reader. So even I skip your, not skip, I would say, but I just skim through a lot of slides which you have provided. So absolutely, from A to Z, just your slides. and just your material, all the material you have provided. So if I just summarize it as far as the material is concerned, so I had all the 14 topic slides in my hand, and I after I completed each slide. I went through the 50 questions you provided only. I completed that. Then I went ahead with that root cause analysis technique. That was very helpful because I think it's not really how much you are getting. It's more about how much you are really understanding about the exam. So, the score may or may not be, is a matter of concern when you are preparing for the exam. So, I that was my routine. So I did the, one chapter, go for the 50 questions you provided, completed that, then move to the next one, and so on and so forth. So if I put my whole routine, so I completed, say, I started with the people and exactly followed your roadmap, your very sweet and short Excel file, which has a roadmap in it. That was very good. So I completed that one. And after completing people, there is a people mock exam. I completed your mock exam for the people. Then I started the process one once again. So I followed the same path, one chapter, 50 questions, so on and so forth, completed everything. Then I reached the business environment, which is sort of third, the class for as far as exam content is concerned. So I did that business environment, and I also did that 50 questions after the business environment, and I was ready. And then obviously there was a lot of breaks between my my study here and there, but eventually,
Lot of praise.
like, yeah, a lot of breaks, unfortunately. But anyways, as you always say that once it's done, it's done. That's what matters. So yeah, exactly. And so after completing all of those reading material and doing that 50-50 questions, mock questions, and then eventually I went ahead and took your 60 question set of process and the 66 question set. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I did those questions. So there were six sets for 60 questions for the people, and then there were another six sets for the 60 questions of the people. So I did that, and you also one of your suggestion really helped me here is rather than I was thinking how to prepare myself for the 4 hour exam stamina. So you advised me rather than doing 160 set question, moving to the second one is better to do three sets in one go. That is 180 questions in total, and that will also help to test your stamina for the 4 hours long exam. So that suggestion also helped me. So all in all, as I said, so chapter by chapter, 50 questions, and then afterwards I did those six sets of 60 questions with the people and the process, and then six sets of the 60 questions for the full mock exam, which was, once again, I followed your suggestion to do three exams in a row, three sets in a row, and that way that were 180 questions in total, just to test the stamina and getting yourself ready for the real exam. So yeah, that is only thing. And I think a day before or 2 days before exam, I was done with everything, and I asked you, what should I do now? And I go to your prepcast login details, and I just tried, I think, maybe one or two sets of 60 questions, and that's all. So that is the reason why I said in the start that I only did what you provided. It was, I would say, 99.9% your material, and that's all. Nothing else, not even a word out of what you provided.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Umar, let's talk a little bit now about the exam point. How did you manage that?
Yeah, so for the first set of questions, yes, as everybody else mentioned, yes, that was difficult, and I took roughly 75 minutes to 80 minutes to. So I was so the clock started 2:30 minutes, and I was already about 150 to 155 minutes left when I completed my first set of questions. And it asked me for the review, and I don't think so I was ready for the review. I just said, I'm going to take the break. I took break, get myself freshed, came back to the center again, and did the second one. Same thing. I managed. I think it was between 7 to 75 minutes. and then the third, uh, the last set, it was once again right to I would say to the minute. Like for example, I was solving the last question, and it was already like 50, 60 seconds left only. So I was, not in a rush. I wasn't in a rush throughout the exam, and it was just like, I was just on the mark to complete my exam within the allocated time. That's how it was for me.
Okay, okay. And what tell us exam? How the exam was basically?
Yeah, so it was, I would say, I shouldn't say only, but I must say that it was majorly agile and people. That was the major things over there in the exam. I do not had any kind of process questions. I would say is majorly once again situational. What should the project manager do in this or that situation? So 99% of the questions were like that. In the real exam.
Thank you. That's good thing. So a master people domain is the main thing for PMP exam, right?
That's right, right. Yeah, it's very important. That conflict management, emotional intelligence. I mean, other than that, you're talking about ladder.
And understanding how the virtual team, Atman ladder, those motivational, they are the key PMP exam, right?
Exactly. So, although I didn't get any question from the motivational, but is the teams or the people portion is the most important. Like the stakeholder or the communication was a big part. Was a big part. Obviously, as
People,
yeah,
people is the key domain.
yeah.
Okay, what about if we put risk quality?
Maybe I missed your question, but I can summarize how the exam was.
Like that was for your exam.
No, once again I missed. So there wasn't any calculation question over there, but there was one formula question, like very very simple. You just need to put, there were the numbers or the values given in the question, and in the option there were, the formula used, and you need to pick the right formula. That's all. So there wasn't any calculation, but there was formula question. There was, I think, two or three questions from the process, like the procurement. If I remember, there was one question from the Sun model, but it wasn't, a simple or the straightforward. Thanks to Umer Siddiq, from our batch, he actually, yeah, he actually shared the, in his journey, and then I had a sort of, I sent a text to him as well, and he was very, obviously he's a nice man, so
He's in PMP as anything. He's like very active person.
very active person, very active. Yeah. So anyway, so he actually shared with me the Sun model, and he shared in the group as well. So I used that just to read that out, and that was the only time I read about the Sun model. But the question wasn't simple in the exam. It was sort of mixed up, not straightforward, but it was related to the Sun model.
It was related to the sun model. So I just received a message that my voice is cracking. Still the issue is there?
I think it's better now. It was cracking previously. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I hope now it is okay. So let's talk about this thing. There were no critical path questions,
No critical
and
part.
even if like you don't have to calculate, there were no formula questions. There was
One
no
thing.
one formula question, but you have to use a formula in that, or
Uh,
it
so
was more of the context.
So yeah, that's what I was saying. So there wasn't any calculation. You don't need to calculate, but there was a formula. So they put the numbers or the values in the question, and you have to select the right formula in the options given. Like, so it was related to SPI. Very very simple question.
Very, very simple. Okay. So putting that into the context, what do you think? How much time generally it is required to prepare for PMP? Not your time. You took many breaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are
So
in you are in England, no? You
no,
are in
Canada, Toronto.
Toronto. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say honestly, your roadmap is exactly what the time requirement is, and that's all.
Hmm.
you know
Okay. Thank
so
you.
if you just follow those ones, absolutely that is the only time required. You need to clear your PMP. The only thing I would add to that one is, I don't recommend do what I did. Like I took a lot of breaks, but when I was preparing it. But I would highly recommend that when you are done with reading the material and prepping for it, and now you want to practice the exams or the mock exams, do not take any break, because that is, I think, which helped me the most, because it is kind of like your brain get programmed to solve different questions. It's really,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
red hat
That is
is
very important.
head now. So or so servant leadership is just in your head now. So it's better when you start your mock exams, make sure that you not take any even single day break. It should be a continuous one, and you should be able to clear the exam.
Mhm. Yeah, that is so sure. Okay, now Umar, you have given us a lot of information. One of my guru from whom I learned a lot, Farhad, is actually online. He said that that my voice was cracking. So thank you, Farhad, and good to see you. And I'm happy that you said so kind words for me. Putting all this context into that, and before moving to the last thing, Ibrahim have asked a question: which certification is worth it after doing PMP, ICP, ACC, or ICP, ATF? Now everyone has that question: which certification I should do after PMP? Now it all depends on Umar. It can also be relevant to you. It all depends on what you want to do in future. Where do you want to learn? PMP is more of a giving the key to your new job, key to your promotion. Now, if you get a new job, or if you want a new job in a specific field, then you do that certification according to that. Every certification is worth it. Every certification is worth it. It's just some are more valuable than other. So whichever you want to do, go for it. Don't wait for it. With the Omnicron, you have this opportunity. You can learn at your home, and you can do that. So Umar, you have given us a lot of information. Your final advice for all PMP aspirants.
I'm not going to, I mean, to anybody who is watching right now or going to watch this video. So I'm not going, advertising or marketing our mentor Amir, but I would really suggest that if you are struggling to manage your time and go for the PMP and looking for something really valuable material in your hand, then I would highly recommend to join your program. And there are two other things as well. I do not forget to mention about it. So two rules which help you to pass PMP with Amir. One is he do not give up on yourself, number one rule. And number two rule, he does not let you give up on yourself. So those are really, I would say, pushing you to get your certification done. So but otherwise, on the study point of view, as I earlier mentioned, I suggest, uh, doesn't matter how many breaks you take. It vary person to person. But I highly recommend and suggest, whenever you start doing your mock exams, do not take break, and
Do
always
not
get
take
your
break.
exams when you think you are ready. And I think I just took 10 days, exact 10 days, from completing the chapters, reading material, and then practicing my exam. And after 10 days, I think 10th day, it was, I scheduled my exam, and I was, good to go. And I suggest the same: do
That's a
not
great
take
one.
break when doing the mock
That's
exam.
a great advice. Now, although I know you are a very busy professional, but I have a lot of students from Canada, US in your time zone. So, especially for those people, my mantra of life: each one, teach one, and we can make better project managers. So, I hope you can follow the same thing as your batchmates are doing. Like Usman from batch 15, he just had a coaching call with the batch 15, and Wasim Ahmed Janjua, who cleared last night, he also joined that. So they are helping. Saurav did a lot for batch 14. Umar, your batchmate, is doing for other batch 12. Other people they are doing. I hope you can do the same thing for your batchmates, Umar. This is very important. Secondly, do like whenever you guide them, if you need any help, you can always come back to me. And I would highly appreciate if you can write PMP question, exam like questions. And
Right.
third and final thing, you already enjoyed, so the weekend is there. Do enjoy it. And Uma, thank you very much for your time. And I hope this was a great journey. And best of luck for future endeavors.
Thanks again.